The Giants and Dodgers, from their origins on the East Coast to their historic move west, these two teams make up one of baseball's best rivalries. With great players like former National League MVP Buster Posey of the Giants and Dodger Rookie of the Year candidate Jock Peterson, the rivalry lives on. It's another National League West showdown, and it's all coming up next. Saturday afternoon baseball here at Dodger Stadium as we get ready for Giants baseball. Giants-Dodgers game 2 of this 3-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. A win last night for the Giants are now only a game and a half back of the very tough Dodgers. And this afternoon it's going to be Tim Hudson. He's going to take the mound. And I don't know, these conditions, you better keep the ball down if you're Hudson or Frias for that matter.
You're right. I mean, it is going to be a live field tonight. Fly balls, or today, the fly balls will be carrying, but it is also going to be a tough background for hitters to see, so that will definitely even things out a bit. For Tim Hudson, who has 218 lifetime wins and a 7-6 lifetime win-loss against the Dodgers, he only has one win here at Dodger Stadium, so he's going to try and add to it. If he does that, it would assure the Giants that they would win this series this weekend. So they're on a roll right now. They have had ownage against these Dodgers. They hope it continues today.
All right, it was a big night last night for Buster Posey. He's catching again tonight, or today when we come back. We're going to take a look at Buster Posey's night last night, and we'll do that right after this.
Bay area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Back here at Dodger Stadium as we get ready for Giants-Dodgers Game 2 of this 3-game series.
All right, time now for our T-Mobile game changer. Last night, Buster Posey, he did something that hasn't been done in a long time. Stole a base in the top of the second. Yep, easily. And then in the third inning, stepped up, bases loaded and unloaded. A grand slam home run. And thus, he became the first Giants catcher to hit a grand slam and steal a base in the same game in 112 years. The last guy to do it, Roger Bresnahan, in April of 1903 against the Phillies. And that's our T-Mobile game changer.
All right, and Buster Posey in the lineup as you would expect tonight, catching Tim Hudson. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this. mid-afternoon day here in Los Angeles. But if you ask the players, this is just the way they like it. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Hey, get to the beach. It's a good time to go. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 83 degrees here at the yard. Winds at 10 miles per hour from the west. 53% humidity. And it's clear.
Well, you can't see the mountains, but it's clear.
You see Bruce Bochy happy with his team last night. Came away with a win. And here's Bruce Bochy's lineup. It'll be Aoki, followed by Panik, Pagan, and then Buster Posey. And Buster's got good numbers against the Dodgers this year. Bell, Crawford, and Duffy. Blanco will hit 8th and Hudson 9th.
On the hill today for the Dodgers will be Carlos Frias. Frias, a rookie, 6'4", 195-pounder. He'll be making his 10th start. He's 4-4 with a 4.14 ERA. 32 strikeouts against 17 walks and 54 and a third. And you're going to see a good fastball, lots of life, and lots of velocity. It's mid to high 90s, more mids than highs, but it's a live fastball, and he will sink and cut it. A lot of it's just natural movement. He has a curveball, a slider, and a changeup that he'll also feature. And it's about equal. I mean, he'll mix up all his pitches. He'll use them. When he's right, you will see a lot of ground balls. Let's take a look at the defense the Dodgers will employ behind Frias, starting in their outfield. From left to right will be Ethier, Peterson, and Puig. The best arm will be with Puig in right field. Rollins and Turner on the left side of the infield. Kendrick and Gonzalez on the right side. And Yasmani Grandal will be in the squad, putting down the sign. Same lineup that the Dodgers threw out there last night against Chris Heston.
Little guy's complicated.
San Francisco, left fielder number 23, Nori Aoki.
There's a couple of good Giants fans.
He's ready.
Dad and son. So Nori Aoki's going to lead things off. Aoki last night went 2 for 5. He comes in hitting at .317. Bright, bright sunshine here this afternoon. So Frias looks in, and the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a called strike. So we get started right on time at 4:15. And the 0-1 delivery, and it hits Aoki.
It got him in the right foot someplace. I don't know if it was in the foot or the ankle. Clearly hurting Dave Greshner, Giants head trainer, out. It's the right foot as he plants.
Yeah, right on the shin, maybe.
Ankle or shin.
Yeah, he's hurting, boy. You see a guy laying around like that, you start to think, is this serious?
Well, and we've gotten to know Nori Aoki. I mean, he's a game player. I mean, he'll go out there with a lot of dings, and he doesn't make a lot of complaint about the everyday bumps and bruises you get playing baseball. But this got him in a bad spot. Oh, yeah, right in the right ankle.
Right, that bone that sticks out at the bottom of your foot. Here's where Bruce Bochy, he starts thinking about, well, what am I going to do if he doesn't get up?
I don't know, Guy. I don't know if he can walk this one off.
That's my point. The longer he stayed down, the All right, now he's upright, but he has not taken that first step yet. And this is not a game where you're going to walk to first, walk to second, walk to third. Kosuke, his interpreter, is there with him.
Have you ever been hit there?
No, I don't remember, Mike. Look, if I had been hit there, I probably would remember.
I mean, anywhere in your foot is sensitive. So it looks like he is able to.
I mean, you got to steal second now, don't you?
Well, if he does, it'll be the greatest deke of all times.
So here's Panic. Panic really had a nice game yesterday, and he didn't get a hit. He was 0 for 3.
But if you're Bruce Bochy and you have a sense of humor, which he does, put the steal sign on.
Yeah.
Just to see the reaction.
Home plate umpire is Chris Guccione. Fagan, Nelson, and Diaz from first to third.
Guccione's a good sinker ball umpire. He's a low ball umpire, and he will give width on both sides of the plate. You won't see many belt high strikes, but you'll see a lot of low strikes, and that favors a sinker baller like Tim Hudson.
Down the right field line. Aoki's going to have to run. Now he's starting to limp in between second and third, and Roberto Kelly's going to hold him up. My goodness, the way he's running.
Yeah, this does not look good. I mean, he really labored between first and third, and when he ran past third and had to put the brakes on and go back, you could tell he was in pain. A mislocation from Frias. They set the target away. This is middle in, and Joe Panic just drops the bat head on it. And there you see the limp of Aoki. And let's watch him. They're just uncomfortable, so you know he's feeling it on every stride. And right here when he puts the brakes on.
Tell you what, though, he started to pick up a little bit of speed between second and third. So here's Pagan. Pagan hitting at 272. And Pagan takes low. He went 1 for 4 last night. He scored a couple of runs. He does have a little bit of ownage in 6 at bats against Frias. He's 3 for 6. High into right center field. Panic may tag. You know Aoki's going to tag. And Panic's going to go, and here's the throw, and he's going to make it. Aoki scores a very productive out, and it's 1-0 Giants.
Well, you're right. You get to move both runners up, and the Giants will have another runner at third, less than 2-out situation.
So here's Buster Posey. Buster with a great night last night. He had 3 hits, including a grand slam. Dodgers now are going to bring the infield in, or they're coming in. I'm a little surprised by this.
I really am. The first inning, you bring that infield in, especially with a hitter like Posey.
I mean, it really has the makings of a game where there's going to be some runs that are going to be scored just by the conditions.
Well, you're right. The ball's carrying. There's lots of life from foul line to foul line. When you bring a infield in this early in a ball game, you're basically saying that I don't think my team can score a lot of runs.
I mean, the infield's fairly quick. It's dry.
In the first inning, you just don't want to have a big inning. You don't want to have a 3 or 4 run number go up on the board against you. You bring these infielders in, I mean, you're really increasing the opportunity for Posey to get a hit one through the infield. So it's a bit of a gamble.
fouled off the shin guard of Grandal. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Posey's faced Frias just 3 times. He's got 1 hit.
Talked about the number of strikeouts that Frias has. He's got 32 and 54 in the 3rd innings. This is a pure strikeout situation here. He is trying to strike out Buster Posey. Your manager brings your infield in. He's telling you, strike him out.
Hit to right. Puig is going to get there. Tagging is Panic. Here's the throw. And the Giants lead 2-0. Makes it bad.
Well, indeed. I mean, that's good situational baseball. That's what the situation called for. Pagan answered, and now Posey answers. And the Giants do indeed get a crooked number up on the board. 2 runs up, and maybe not done yet.
So here's Belt.
Good to see Roberto Kelly back in the 3rd base coaching box for the Giants. Had to leave the family.
He got tested immediately, didn't he? If Belt rolls a foul.
He did. Steve Decker filled in nicely in his absence. I believe the death of his mother-in-law.
Belt 1 for 5 last night. 0-2. 3 strikeouts in the game last night for Belt.
Well, 2 of them were called strike 3s, and in fairness to Belt, it was not a good strike zone last night. Inconsistent.
1-2.
Carlos Frias tried to go country hard with that last fastball.
1-2 pitch to Belt. Good take. 2-2. Belt fouls it out of play as Frias came in on his hands at 95.
He was on it.
Fights another pitch off.
Pretty good pitch right there. I mean, that's a changeup on the outside corner with a little movement running away from Belt. He did well just to get a piece of that one.
So he fouls it off to see another pitch. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Belt and Las Diaz still not friends.
That's unbelievable.
2-0 Giants. That Tim Hudson will be facing. It'll be Puig, Peterson, and then Justin Turner. Turner had a big game last night with 3 hits, and he's hot. Followed by Gonzalez, Kendrick, and Ethier. Grandal is going to hit 7th, Rollins 8th, and Frias 9th.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the veteran Tim Hudson. Hudson, 39 years of age, in his 17th year at the big league level. He's making start number 14 on the year, 4-6 with a 4.65 ERA, 40 strikeouts against 19 walks in 79 innings. Lifetime against the Dodgers, 7-6 with a 3.80 ERA. With Hudson, you'll see a lot of sinkers. He will cut the fastball. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Maxwell now is into the game for Aoki. Blanco moves to left. So Maxwell will be in the leadoff spot. Here's Yasiel Puig. And Puig takes a strike. He took an 0 for 5 last night. Against Hudson, a little bit of ownage, 5 for 11 lifetime. Went up to the first pitch a lot last night. Overshift is on. And this is bounced to Duffy, and Duffy to Belt.
That's the play right there that he's starting to make better at third base. And you can tell he's starting to get in tune with the rhythm of the position. Balls are getting on him really quick. And when he had to go back on the ball and try and play a good hop, he was getting handcuffed, but not anymore.
Well, you know what, Mike? He's starting to look like a third baseman now, where he was looking like a second baseman playing third.
Just backed up, and I think it's just realizing that he has to get in rhythm with that bounce, gets himself a good hop up around the belt, and he's not getting handcuffed anymore.
So here's Peterson. Overshift is on for Peterson, and he takes low. Had a hit in 4 at bats last night. He was in the on deck circle when the game ended last night. And he takes a ball. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, that's the belt high that you're not going to get with Guccione, but he makes up for it with a little width on both sides of the plate at the knees. And for a sinker baller like Hudson, I think he'll take the exchange. But look, don't get me wrong. A pitcher wants every pitch he can get. But if he has a choice of getting one out of the middle of the plate at the belt or one about 4 inches off the plate outside corner, he'll take the outside corner.
So Hudson comes in with a strike. Turner on deck. Peterson with 17 home runs. And he's got 18. This is a monster. Gone. To the back of the bullpen, it's 2-1. So number 18 for Peterson.
Now that's a healthy swing of the bat. We talked about the carry today because it's so dry. There's carry on all field, but he'd hit this thing out of the ballpark through a hailstorm. I mean, that is just a big boy homer.
So here's Turner. And Turner takes high. 1 ball and no strikes.
I mean, that is getting every bit of a pitch. Oh.
Look out. 2 balls and no strikes. On deck is Adrian Gonzalez. High and deep to right. Maxwell back. Gone. And just like that, this game is tied. Well, it's what the Dodgers do. They hit home runs.
And this is what Justin Turner does. Last night, 2 doubles and a home run. Here gets brushed back in a 1-0 pitch, goes in the next pitch and just launches one the opposite way. That is a macho at bat. Bell high, back spins it out to right. And he knew it. It's a bandbox today, folks. They are jumping.
Here's Gonzalez. And Gonzalez takes wide. 1 ball and no strikes. First inning always can be a little rough for sinker ballers. Out to center field for Pagan. 2 outs. And here's Kendrick.
Let's take a look at the defense the Giants will employ today. Edgar Blanco has moved over to left field with Maxwell in right field. So it goes Blanco, Pagan, Maxwell. Crawford, Duffy on the left side. Panic, Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Kendrick. I mean, if you're Bruce Bochy, Dave Righetti, you just have to wait and hope that Hudson gets that sinker down soon. And a base hit past Duffy. And that'll bring up Ethier.
All right, time now for our AT&T U-verse rewind. Tim Hudson, May 19th, against the Dodgers at AT&T, went 6 1/3, 5 hits, no runs, couple walks, 2 strikeouts, 100-pitch outing. Giants would go on to shut the Dodgers out on all 3 games of that series, and that's our AT&T U-verse rewind.
So here's Ethier hitting at .280. 1 for 2 last night. And he takes wide strike, and it's 0-1. Ethier has had 5 lifetime doubles and a triple. 7 for 28 against Hudson. 6 of his 7 hits have been for extra base hits. One to Ethier, and that's going to be foul. So it's 1-2. Grandal is on deck should Ethier reach. Dog day here.
Yeah, they had the dog days. Big parade before the game.
Pitch out. Kendrick not going. 1-2. With 18 pitches here on this warm afternoon.
There you see the numbers. Lifetime 250, and that doesn't jump off the page, but a lot of extra base hits. That does.
Lifted out to Pagan as Hudson got Ethier out on his front foot, and that's going to end the inning. Dodgers tie it up on the 2 solo home runs. It'll be Crawford to lead things off. First, here's our forward right choice. See how Brandon Crawford and what he's done against the Dodgers this season, and you can see where Crawford's hit the ball, and the double last night went into right center field. But 12 for 28, and that's our forward right choice. Against Frias, he's 1 for 6, and the one hit is a big fly. So here he takes a strike. Question now is which starter is going to settle down first. Duffy on deck. And that evens the count. And then Blanco.
Hudson hydrating. Definitely a concern today. It is warm.
Crawford taps this one off his foot. It's 1-2.
And one thing about this ballpark, you're pitching here at Dodger Stadium, you don't feel a lot of wind out there on the mound. There's a lot of stadium behind home plate, and it sort of protects you from a lot of wind, and it can get really warm on a hot day. It's 83 degrees at first pitch, but I guarantee it feels hotter out there on that mound.
Crawford last night went 1 for 4. He had a couple of runs batted in. I got 42 RBIs this year. Digs this one out and stays alive. One of his RBIs from last night. Right into the gap.
Well, that was a 3-0 pitch, just sitting on a breaking ball from Mike Bolsinger, who threw a lot of breaking balls. He had a good night with the bat. And we've been saying that a lot this first half.
Three and two.
Crawford saying that it hit him.
And Bruce Bochy is saying, you know what, it hit me. And now they want Ron Wotus to check it out.
Watch the back leg as the slider breaks down in on him.
Hit him in the back foot.
Yeah, they're going to look at it.
Yep, it did hit him in the back foot. So now it's up to the people in New York to see what Sean Dunston saw in the clubhouse and what we saw. This should be a very quick review, maybe the fastest.
Well,
this replay review is presented by Xfinity. I recall saying that a few times. Is that true?
it hasn't always worked out that way, but this one really should be.
I'm writing it in.
I've already written it in.
All right, watch the back foot. Watch the baseball. Oh, it just flattened out.
It absolutely did.
It flattened out. Plus, the Dodger pitchers now are throwing at the Giants.
Yeah. I don't know if they're throwing at him with a breaking ball, though.
No. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But they are taking a healthy look here.
It flattened out. First base.
So crew chief Jeff Nelson gives Crawford the base, as he should. Second inning in a row, the leadoff hitter has been hit by a pitch.
First base has been awarded.
So here's Duffy. Duffy 1 for 4 last night, had a couple of RBIs. In the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. So right away, Frias has to go back into the stretch. He lived in it for a while in the first inning. Crawford's got 3 steals on the year. On the ground towards the hole. Rollins. And they're going to say Rollins stayed on the bag, or Kendrick did. And again, the Giants are take a look at it in the clubhouse. Nice play by Rollins.
His foot, Kendrick, the second baseman's foot, did come off the base. I think that's what they saw in the Giants dugout. It's just a matter of, did he get back on and make contact after his foot did come off?
There's 2 shots there that you can't tell. And maybe those are the same shots that they're getting in the clubhouse. And if that's the case, you need a better shot. Yeah, he's on.
Still a beautiful play from Rollins. I don't think there's enough there to appeal.
I agree. So here's Blanco. Blanco hitting .286, came off the DL before the game yesterday. And a couple of hits last night. He hit the ball well. He had a hit taken away from him by Peterson on a ball in the gap. There's one of our friends.
Easy, easy. Not the Dodger dog.
No balls in 1 strike. Swing ain't gonna miss. Nothing in 2. Hudson is on deck. It's a 2-2 ball game. Duffy, a couple of steals on the year. Tap slowly. That's one. That's all they'll get.
Well, follow the Giants all season in 2015 with MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. You get up-to-the-minute in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and much, much more. Go to MLB.com at BAT for your smartphone or your tablet.
Hudson on the year is 3 for 23. And he takes a strike. Good crowd this afternoon. Maybe not a sellout, but close. Popped up. Souvenir. 0-2.
You never really know if you're going to get a shutout or not 100% because it takes so long to get in the ballpark.
I mean sellout.
Sellout.
Yeah.
You look up at right field in the upper deck and you can see up around the top there. It leads you to believe that it is not going to be a sellout. They had 52,000 last night. But you couldn't tell until about the third inning. It just takes so long to get in here.
Well, you didn't have a choice, did you, as far as being born here?
Nope. I used to come 25, 30 games a year. Always in the bleachers or the upper tank.
On the ground, softly to Kendrick, and that'll end the inning. Hudson coming back out. Grandal will be the first hitter that he faces. Posey on Jeremy Affeld's at bat last night. Buster said, well, he's still talking about it because he fouled a couple of pitches off.
He was talking about it this morning when we saw him for coffee. And he was bragging about that he got 6 pitches out of the pitcher.
Yeah.
So he is going to spin it a positive way.
Well, the worst thing that could have happened to this franchise would have been if Affel would have got a hit. Here's Grandal. Grandal takes a curveball for a strike.
I mean, could you imagine if he hit a home run? I mean, he gets mileage out of a foul ball. What would a home run be like?
Well, unbelievable. 0-2 to Grandal.
Softballing, opened it up with a curveball, backed it off with a changeup. A perfect location with it. Fastball set up outside. Try and zip him.
Duffy played him perfect. Now let's take a look at the pitch-by-pitch at bat.
Now remember, Raven was throwing 97 miles an hour. All right, so there's the foul ball, 1-1. Another foul ball, 1-2. Another foul ball, 1-2. 2-2, and then whoop, see ya. And he came back. Yeah, I got 6 pitches out of him. I wouldn't even count. Did he get 6?
I think he did. 5 or 6 or 4 or 3. Here's Rollins hitting at 197. Rollins to left, Blanco there, and Blanco reaches down and he makes the catch. Nice play. Yeah, end up being 6 pitches. Bruce Bochy said in his office before the game to John Miller and I, he said, I would never ever say this to Afto. So who's ever listening, don't repeat it. He said, but he had some pretty decent swings.
He is not without talent.
Frias takes low and away, 1-0.
The guy that he had the at-bat off of and fouled the balls off, Josh Raven, he was sent down today. Matt West replaced him in the bullpen.
Well, I guess if Affel gets a hit, they release him. If they hit a home run, they shoot him.
Yeah. Well, 2 loud fouls and sent him back down.
There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Entertaining, though.
Never a dull moment around him.
2-2. Good curveball from Hudson. 2-2 ball game. It was almost a strike as Frias was getting out of dodge.
Look out. Of course, you're right. I just don't think he understands that breaking balls will break.
And that'll end the inning. 3rd inning coming up. Maxwell will lead it off. That's the top of the order, 2-2.
Is brought to you by Bay Area Mini.
Well, Sunday, June 28th is Hello Kitty Day at AT&T Park. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Hello Kitty Giants bobblehead. And fans who purchase a Hello Kitty Day special event package will also receive a collector's edition Hello Kitty Giants gnome. Reminder, to receive the Hello Kitty Giants gnome, you need to purchase a special event ticket. Go to sfgiants.com/special events.
So Maxwell hitting for Aoki, who got hit on the ankle bone and left the game. after he ran the bases. Maxwell takes high.
It is a warm day here in Los Angeles.
Swing and a miss by Maxwell. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And if you ever wondered as to how the Dodgers declared which side of the field they were going to have their home dugout in, you just need to come here in a day game to figure it all out.
Exactly. There's a strike. 1 and 2.
And they're just about in the shade, and the Giants dugout is like an oven.
Two and 2 now to Maxwell. Maxwell stays alive. He's only had 1 at bat lifetime against Frias, and he's 0 for 1. But he's been pretty valuable. A, when Pence was on the DL, and B, when Blanco was on the shelf. This is hit to right, but Puig is moving over. 1 out. This was the at bat for Nori Aoki.
Right on the right ankle. And it took him a long time to get up. As you can see how he was laboring as he was running from first to third. And it just kept getting worse and worse.
He ended up scoring on Pagan's sacrifice fly. So here's Panic. Panic doubled in the first inning. Here he looks at a strike. And the double by Panic, the only hit in the game for the Giants. He shoots this one to left, but it's in the park for Ethier. 2 outs. And here's Pagan.
Number 16, Angel Pagan.
Pagan picked up his 17th RBI on the sacrifice fly in that first inning. And he looks at a strike, and it's 0-1.
That's a good breaking ball. Throw that up there first pitch. Not too many guys are going to swing at it. Backed it up. Came back with another one. So Pagan's sitting on a fastball for the first 2 pitches. Oh yeah. Anything you can get a little shade with, use it.
So the 0-2 pitch is high. Buster Posey on deck. Two and 2 to Pagan. Giants 20-14 on the road. That's the best road record in the National League. 3rd overall. 2-2 pitch.
Frias took a long look. He thought he had a little strike on that outside corner. Just a little too high for Guccione.
Pagan granted time. And a payoff. Hit on the ground to Gonzalez. And that'll end the inning. Top of the order coming up. It'll be Puig hitting first.
area is brought to you by the Solar Company. Not just any solar company, the Solar Company. Switch to solar and save.
Here it's a 2-2 ball game as Puig stands in. Puig likes that first pitch, got a hanger and fouled it out of play.
And it wasn't like he was out front on it either. I think he waited well for that pitch, just missed it. You're kind of vulnerable when you decide to throw a first pitch breaking ball. You're not thinking corner, you're just going to throw it in the strike zone. If a guy's sitting on you, looking for it, has you timed, you're in trouble.
Looked like Hudson dropped down a little bit. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He did.
Hey, you get to be Hudson's age, you get a little crafty. Overshift is on for Puig. And this is rolled foul.
Well, you do. I mean, you learn a lot of things along the way. And for Hudson, I mean, he's thrown a lot of innings. I mean, almost 3,100 innings lifetime at the big league level. I mean, you do pick up a few tricks.
Lined into right center field. That's a base hit. Puig's going to have his first hit of the series, and it's a leadoff double.
A mistake to location. Ball was up and away. When you don't get the ball down around the knees, you lose your movement. And this is ball right out over the belt. And a nice job of going the opposite way with the pitch for Yasiel Puig. As big and as strong as he is, I mean, I just rifled right through the gap. Nobody has a chance there.
So here's Peterson, who hit a long solo home run on the first. With Turner to follow. 4 hits now for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Breaking ball down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Panic out in shallow right field. Crawford to the right of second.
Could have got that pitch. That was close.
One ball, no strikes. And this pitch he does get to even the count.
Anytime you get a runner at second base with nobody out, I mean, you're thinking strikeout if you're the pitcher. And I know it's the 3rd inning, but your mind kind of kicks into that situation, how to deal with it, how to pitch to it. Normally, a sinker baller like Hudson, if he's got established sink and he has knee-high command, I mean, he can nibble here, because if he did lose him, he's always got a chance to get a double play because of the sinker. But right now he's been up. No guarantee he's going to get that ball hit on the ground, so he has to bite off a little more strike zone because of it.
Well, he's trying. Turner's on deck. Belt's looking at Lodge Diaz like, seriously?
Number 10, Justin Turner.
You see John Miller, he'll be over here for innings 4, 5, and 6. I'll head over to the radio side. Dave Fleming is on assignment. Turner hit an opposite field home run in the first inning. He's hot right now.
Oh.
And Hudson's pitching him like he is hot. This is the home run in the first inning. Out over the plate.
A pitch up. Backspin it out the opposite way. Guy does that, he's locked. He's back spinning the opposite way. Whew. He is covering that strike zone with balance. Watch the front leg lift. Big leg hitch.
And a strike, so that evens the count.
Guys who have hitches, whether they hitch with their leg or they hitch with their hand, when they get hot, it just seems like it gets bigger. And he has had no problem getting that front foot down in time.
1-2. Well, sometimes hot hitters are anxious hitters. And a lot of times a hot hitter, the only way you get him out is if he gets himself out. So Hudson catching a breather by rubbing up the baseball off the back of the mound. First pitch 83 degrees, and with little wind it feels like 93. Puig and Peterson are your base runners. Tapped to Crawford. Crawford will shovel it to Panic. Panic to Belt. Double play. Nice turn.
That really was. Wasn't a hard hit ground ball, and I think the best part of this play may have been the back end to dig out of the dirt from Brandon Belt, because it was not an easy one hopper. We're going to make it our Togo's big play the Togo way, and watch the pick from Belt. Got it. Not a problem. Quick flip, perfect, right to the glove. I mean, that was an absolute strike from Crawford to Panic, and that's our Togo's big play the Togo's way.
Here's a tough out with men in scoring position. Adrian Gonzalez. So Puig's at third. And the first pitch is low, 1-0. On deck is Kendrick. 43 pitches for Hudson. Outfield straight away. It's about, you have to play it that way with Gonzalez. Gonzalez's power to left is just as good as it is to right. Maybe better sometimes. It was at Petco Park in San Diego.
He really made a reputation for himself in San Diego. Everybody defined it as pitcher's ballpark. Nobody get home runs, and he was flipping them out the opposite way. Instant credibility.
In tight.
Now, I would expect Hudson to nibble here. Gonzalez in 30 at bats, 10 for 30 with a couple of big flies. And Howie Kendrick 1 for 4. So Hudson knows who sees him better.
On the ground to Belt. And Hudson's going to pitch his way out of this mess, and that'll end the inning. John Miller will be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. Here in LA, it's 2-2.
June 26th to the 28th. It's fireworks night presented by Snapple's. Kicks off the weekend on Friday the June 26th. And then the 27th is Skyline Sox giveaway presented by Johnsonville. And on Sunday the 28th, the first 20,000 fans receive a Hello Kitty bobblehead. sfgiants.com, get you tickets. It's 2-2, top of the fourth. And here's John Miller.
Buster Posey leads off for the Giants and takes the ball off the outside. First, by the way, the first pitch called a strike. Now the ground ball to Rollins at short, and one away.
You know, there was a play that ended it for the Dodgers in the bottom of the third inning with a ground ball off the bat of Adrian Gonzalez that Brandon Belt fielded. At third base was Yasiel Puig, and he did something that I have not seen at the big league level, and I hope I never see it again. He made a mistake, and it was a mental mistake. And we'll show you this in a minute, but it could have cost the Dodgers, and it was a Bush play.
Brandon Belt, the hitter. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Now he's the runner at third base. There's 2 outs. The ball's hit on the ground, and watch him. He doesn't move. He does not move. And that is something that really you should never see. 2 outs, you go down the line. Even if you're jogging, you want your momentum going down the line. If Belt bobbles that ball, he's not going to score.
2-1 now to Belt.
And that is a play that needs to be addressed.
Now 2-2. Well, respect the game. Number one, it's not that complicated. You're at third base. There's a ground ball, run.
Yeah, simple as that.
It's not a whole big thought process that would go into it.
You don't need talent to hustle. Respect the game, respect the people that played before you, and respect the people that bought a ticket to watch you play.
Now Yasiel Puig, just an incredible amount of talent, but still young and apparently still very immature.
Well, they brought him up here early, and a lot of those lessons, that's stuff you should learn in Little League.
Caught by Kendrick. So Belt is out number 2.
And that is not how the Dodgers play the game. Never have.
2 down, nobody on. Brandon Crawford to the plate. He was hit by a pitch his first time. 2-2 the score. The Giants have only 1 hit. That was a double by Joe Panik. They scored their 2 runs with some inside baseball. Just great fundamental baseball. And that's strike 1 as they had runners at second and third in the first inning, and Pagan hit a fly ball deep enough to get the run home from third and to get Panik from second over to third, from where he then scored on another fly ball. That one hit by Buster Posey. So they got 2 runs that were knocked in without benefit of a hit. And it's 0-2. That was 96 miles an hour on the stadium radar gun.
He's got good fastball, and he's got the second stage hop where you see it at 1 speed, then all of a sudden as it gets close to home plate, it jumps at you. He does not lack for stuff.
0-2 the count, and now time taken. Giants with just that 1 hit against Frias. They also lost their starting left fielder, who got hit in the foot with an extraordinarily wild fastball to start the game. That was the start of a 2-run rally. But Aoki, although he stayed in the game, he limped his way around the bases, and he showed a lot of determination, in pain, running hard as he could. But they took him out, and we haven't heard anything from the clubhouse yet. as to what they've discovered about that foot. Right field, Puig only grudgingly going after that one. He didn't want to. We go to the last of the fourth inning. It's still 2-2.
San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, log on to csnbayarea.com as insider Alex Pavlovich will provide wire-to-wire reporting of the Giants season. You get breaking news, video special features, and much, much more. Only on csnbayarea.com.
Last half of the fourth inning. Howie Kendrick, the fifth place hitter, leads off for LA. And Hudson is just off the outside with ball one. Andre Ethier to follow, and then Yasmani Grandal. 2-2 the score. Off the outside. You can see the shadows being cast by the light standard. Vince Scully calls that a lattice work of shadows approaching Hudson. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike of the outside. 2-1. But soon, there's Vinny, the great Vin Scully, in his 66th season broadcasting Dodgers baseball. 2-2. And broadcasting it beautifully.
He really is. And he's, in meeting Vince Scully, he's exactly how you think he would be. Exactly.
2-2 the count. Over the mound. Crawford streaks across. The hurried throw in time. Well done by Brandon Crawford.
Once it got over the head of Hudson, it was going to be a tough play, but watch the exchange. Sidestepping over the bag, not an issue, a little bit of a distraction there. Step over, and the quick exchange, glove hand to bare hand, and in the end, not even close. A lot going on in that play.
Well, Joe Panik had to get the read on it because he started after it himself, but knowing that Brandon Crawford was there, he stayed out of his way. Ethier called a strike. Ethier flied out to shallow center his first time. And they have to know each other a little bit. Each knowing where the other is. And plus Panik knowing the capabilities of Brandon Crawford.
Well, I think if it was going to be Panik on that play, I don't think he could have made that play.
He only got it by about a step anyway. Crawford did. Panik would have been moving away from first base. He'd had to make a turn and the off balance throw. Everything was lined up much better for Crawford to make the play.
Yeah, his momentum going right to first. Panik's going to third.
0-2 the count. Whoa, man, was he ever fooled more than that? He made him look bad.
And that's the kind of swing that you say there may have been some shadows on it.
Max Scherzer, he was one strike away from a perfect game, and he hit Jose Tabata and settled for a no-hitter. He got Josh Harrison, the next batter. Tabata ended up being the only man who reached base, and there's a little controversy about it, although Scherzer was trying to deflect that after the game, because Tabata appeared to lean into the pitch to try to get hit with 2 outs in a perfect game, and his team wasn't behind 1-0 where he's the possible tying run, or 2-0 where he could get on and make the next guy the possible tying run. It was 6-0, and he had all that armor over his left elbow, and he dropped the elbow down in front of the pitch.
It was one of those armor pieces like Barry Bonds used to wear. You cannot convince me that he didn't try to do that on purpose.
The Giants were shifted for Grandal, and he hit right into the shift, and Crawford throws him out. 2-2 the score. On to the 5th inning. Duffy coming up.
Jordan's final race, June 26th through 28th at Sonoma Raceway. Visit racesonoma.com for tickets.
Giants and Dodgers in a 2-2 tie. The Giants 2 runs, 1 hit. The Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits. And the 2 runs, the way of scoring the 2 runs sort of illustrated the differences between the 2 lineups. The Dodgers, a very powerful lineup, and they hit 2 solo homers in the first. The Giants, not that much power, and one of their top power hitters out of the lineup, Hunter Pence, and they manufactured a couple of runs. That's a strike to Duffy, 0-1. He hit into a force play his first time, facing Frias, and it's 0-2. By the way, we were talking about Jose Tabata appearing to intentionally get hit by the pitch with 2 down and what was a perfect game going at the time. And we don't know what would have happened if he had not done that. Oh, smashed past Frias off his glove and picked up by Kendrick for the play at first. And I thought Frias did get his glove on that one. So 1 away.
Number 7.
Here's the play. Judge for yourself. Watch his left elbow, the front elbow.
Well, you know, if you don't have the protective piece, you're never going to do that. Getting hit on the tip of an elbow at the base of the tricep is a very painful place to get hit. And you can't convince me that he didn't do it on purpose. He had a protective piece like the one Bonds used to wear, which is a very, very sturdy chunk of plastic, a very protective piece. So he didn't feel that at all. And I just think because of the score and the situation, it was a bad play.
It was not 1-0 or even 2-0, where at least you could say, hey, we still had a shot. Get the next guy up and maybe we come back and win. It was 6-0. The other part of it is the umpire in the rule book does not have to allow him to go to first base. The rule book says you're supposed to try and get out of the way of a pitch before they say, yeah, you can go to first.
Leans in. Well, I mean, there's been precedent. It's happened before.
It's happened in the Giants and Dodgers rivalry. Harry Wendelstedt, as Blanco is thrown out by Jimmy Rollins. That was when Don Drysdale was on his way to setting an all-time consecutive scoreless inning streak. And I think it was Dick Dietz was at the plate, got hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to break the streak. Harry Wendell said, no. You did not try and get out of the way. And of course the argument went on. Oh, nobody ever calls that. No, I'm calling it. So, and Malinsky was the plate umpire. He could have called it. And in fact, I think that's a good question for him. Why didn't you call it?
Why wasn't that reviewed? Why couldn't that be a reviewable play?
2 down, nobody on. Here is Tim Hudson. And it's 2-0.
You know, take all the pressure off the umpire crew that was there on the field. Throw it back to New York. Let the debate begin.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a play that's going to follow Thibodeau around the rest of his career.
It is. And rightfully so. You do get into a little gray area if you make that a reviewable play, because you are trying to get in the head of the hitter himself. It's not just did the umpire, were you hit or not, which is reviewable. That's right up the middle, and Tim Hudson has a base hit. Second hit of the game for the Giants. Hudson's 4th hit of the year.
Number 43, Justin Maxwell.
Just going right back up the middle. Now, Frias had retired 10 in a row prior to this swing of the bat. And for the second time this inning, he almost gets peppered by a line drive. Remember back to Matt Duffy, how he started this inning off.
So now Justin Maxwell in Aoki's spot. Aoki left the game after the first half of the first inning. He had been hit in the foot with a pitch to start the game. 0-1 the count to Maxwell, who hit a fly ball to right in the 3rd inning, his only at bat today. 2-2 in the 5th inning. Maxwell, who's been in a deep slump, always a threat though, enormous power. 0-2 the count. That ball is crushed deep into left center field, and goodbye. Maxwell on an 0-2 count crushes one. Left center field. 4-2 Giants. His 6th home run.
So the base hit from Hudson to keep the inning alive becomes a big play, and Maxwell in an 0-2 count does this. And this is just a very quick swing. It gives you an idea of the power. I mean, in fact, that may be the key to get him back on track. Go up there and take every swing like it's an 0-2 count. He doesn't need to get long to hit it out. He's got good strength in his hands.
So Justin Maxwell. The Giants are back ahead 4-2. The Giants play the Dodger game there. Hit the long ball. 55th home run of the year for the Giants. Dodgers have hit 87. Strike 2 to Joe Panik.
Dodgers did not take batting practice today. The Giants did. And in watching the batting practice the Giants had, it was impressive to the way that balls were jumping out of here. And I mean from line to line. We knew there was carry before the game. And the fact that it's just 4-2 here in the 5th is pretty remarkable when you consider how the ball is carrying. When he dries out here, and it does remind you that Los Angeles is in the desert. And it feels that very much that way right now. But that's when you get carry.
Joe Panic called out on strikes. A 401-foot homer for Justin Maxwell, according to the StatCast on the MLB app. Justin Maxwell, as Russ Hodges used to say, goes bye-bye, baby. 4-2 Giants. Until last night, he was the first, or the most recent Giant catcher to steal a base and hit a grand slam in the same game. Buster Posey, the first in 112 years since Bresnahan to do it. And there are some notes about Bresnahan, who was a great catcher in the early days of the 20th century. Roger Bresnahan. He was the first to wear shin guards, also to add padding to the edge of his catcher's mask, helping absorb the shock of foul tips. Rollins, left center field, base hit. Pagan hustles over and can't pick it up, and Rollins is into second. That outfield, when the ball hits the ground out there, it scoots quickly. That may have surprised Pagan, who seemed to be kind of gliding over.
Now the ballpark's playing live. Now this ball's slicing away from Pagan. He never had a chance, but there's the skip you're talking about. He angled his route, and watch him at the last minute. He's got to swing up, and it winds up being a low backhander, and that little bounce fooled him.
Not a chance to catch the ball I was talking about, but that bounce you're talking about. So Pagan back over into center field as Frias comes up to try and bunt Rollins over. And it's 0-1.
Giants going to play this very aggressively with Brandon Bell at first base. Heath throws very well. And Lorenzo Bundy, the third base coach for the Dodgers, coming down and reminding Frias that this bunt should go down the third base line. He may also say if Bell is coming in too close, you have the freedom to pull the bat back and slash. Frias, he thought that ball almost hit him. He set the target, and he's hanging right over the plate. That's right in the strike zone.
And under the rule books, if it had hit him, the correct call would be a strike. That's a fair ball, and he is out at third. Buster Posey thought only of that play, and Jimmy Rollins is thrown out there. The ball was there ahead of him. Rollins tried to elude that tag.
pretty easy decision. Even if they don't get him, I mean, they'd have time to get the out at first base. But I thought that both ends of that play were played well. Posey here very quickly throws a strike over to Duffy, who has to put the tag on the outside part of the bag. It's a pretty creative slide from Jimmy Rollins. He almost pulled it off.
Well, the Dodgers are in contact with their video room in the clubhouse. And apparently they've decided not to challenge that call on with a replay review.
I can see why the Dodgers would challenge that, or at least think about it. If Duffy goes and trails the right hand, Rollins would have been safe with the left hand.
Puig, Giants into the shift, the overshift. 3 infielders to the left of second.
Watch the right hand sort of deke, and if he follows that right hand, he would have pulled that mid away from the left hand, and he would have been safe. So that's the play we're talking about from Duffy. I thought was a heads-up play to not get baited to the right hand. And from Rollins' perspective, I mean, I'm sure that happened to him somewhere down the line, and he bit. That's how you learn that.
That's a foul. It would go out of play off the right field line. 0-2 the count to Yasiel Puig. 4-2. The Giants are leading on the Justin Maxwell home run in the first half of this inning. Puig, the Dodgers are wondering where the power of Puig went. He's got 3 home runs so far this year. He's only played, this is his 24th game. He's missed most of the first half with a hamstring injury. But he hardly hit any home runs at all the second half of last year as it was. 0-2. Hit softly. Duffy will go after Puig in time. And Frias moves over to second. 2 down. So now Jock Peterson, who hit just a spectacular first inning home run to the back wall of the Giants bullpen in right field. How many guys have you seen hit the back wall of the bullpen at Dodger Stadium?
Well, I saw Dave Kingman in 1977 hit one close to left field. But this is just a bomb, and everything just sort of lined up. I mean, he absolutely gets every bit of it with backspin on a dry day where there's carry. That's one of the longest ones I've ever seen.
The StatCast estimated 449 feet, and it left the bat at 111 miles per hour.
Oh, I believe it. That's one of the highest volume velocities we've seen.
That's a called strike on the outside. Giants into the overshift for Jock. 3 infielders to the right of second with Joe Panic well out into right field. Peterson walked in the third after his first inning home run. 18 homers for Jock Peterson in his rookie season. Off the outside this time. The right-handed hitting Justin Turner is on deck. 4-2. The Giants lead the Dodgers. And there's the look from the back from up above the Giants bullpen. Out there, they're looking right into the harsh glare of the sun on a cloudless LA day. And the curve is off the outside. 2-1. And it's a tough day to be in the sun. I think that one guy who had to put whatever that was, a towel or whatever over his head, maybe break down and go buy a cap.
Yeah, they sell them here.
3-1.
Remember they used to sell seat cushions?
They'd sell them or rent them?
Well, they'd rent them.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, everybody would wing them out there on the field. I think think that's why they don't rent them anymore.
3-1 the count. And he walks him again.
I don't think he wanted any part of it.
Now Turner also hit a home run against Hudson in the first inning, but Hudson got him to grind into a double play in the third. Turner went to the opposite field into right center with his first inning homer.
Pretty impressive swing of the bat, because the 1-0 pitch prior to that swing, he was brushed back by a ball up around the chin. Next pitch, he gets in there and goes opposite field with a home run. That's a macho at bat.
He also had a home run and 2 doubles last night. And the Giants' entire staff has a hard time getting him out in this ballpark.
You absolutely have to keep the ball down and away. This guy, good mistake hitter. I think he's a good middle in hitter.
This is a big spot. 2 men on. He chased that breaking ball. Hudson's got. He wanted to go to third. Nobody's there. Hurries to first. Still got him there. Hudson hadn't counted on Matt Duffy also going for that little ground ball. But all's well that ends well.
Is brought to you by PG&E. Together, building a better California.
Well, don't miss out on the chance to win a 2014 World Championship ring created by Tiffany & Company. This is the identical rings that the Giants players and coaches wear. And the ring will be personalized with the winner's last name. The deadline to purchase the tickets is tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. So you need tickets, go to sfgiants.com/ring raffle. Minimum purchase is $10.
Pagan, Posey, and Belt coming up for the Giants, leading 4-2. Carlos Frias. And Pagan is thrown out by Kendrick.
Now watch Hudson as he fields this little comebacker. He gets over here and he's thinking there's going to be somebody to cover third. Whoop, now he's got to hurry, and he winds up making a great play, throwing a strike over to Belt. They do indeed get Turner to end the inning. But I guarantee for one instant there was a little panic as he realized there was nobody at third. You know, it's plays like that. He reminds you that he used to be a center fielder in college. He was a position player.
And he hit well. He was a very good hitter in college. I don't know how good he was in center field. Buster Posey 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. The Giants had 2 sacrifice flies in the first, one from Pagan and then the next one from Posey.
Well, I mean, center fielders, they normally can play a little bit. If you're going to hide somebody, it's going to be on the corner. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he was pretty good.
And then he signed in the American League where he never got to hit at all.
Those are 6 of his best years.
I think some of his early at-bats came against the Giants when Interleague first started. That's outside to Buster Posey, or in the early days of Interleague anyway. That is the first walk allowed by Frias, although he's hit 2 Giants. And here comes Brandon Belt. Four to 2, the Giants are leading here in the 6th inning. Max Scherzer pitched a no-hitter today, and Rick Honeycutt's coming out. The Dodgers have gotten somebody up in their bullpen now.
Like Yimi Garcia, right-hander.
Another hard thrower. But Max Scherzer came so close to a perfect game, ended up with a no-hitter. In his previous start, he pitched a shutout and allowed 1 hit and 1 walk and 1 hit batsman. So Scherzer has just been, and he's already in an elite level of pitcher. His last 2 starts, he's on his own planet, all by himself, as somebody who's just not touchable.
Well, we watched that last inning, and the electricity that was in Washington, the fans were completely into it, as you can imagine. Very exciting. And I mean, it's rare that somebody's disappointed when he throws a no-hitter, but I think in a way he was.
Well, and he looked very disappointed on the field. So here's Belt, who has struck out and lined out to second. Called a strike on the inside. 4 to 2 Giants, 6th inning, 1 out, 1 on. He did, after the game, they asked him, he was, I thought, very gracious. He said he didn't blame Tabata for the play, getting hit. And I thought that was a very magnanimous gesture by Max Scherzer. A little class, and on a great day for him.
He absolutely is a class act, no doubt. Has been that way since the day he came into the league.
1 ball, 1 strike to Belt. Tails away, and on a check swing, no, says Las Diaz on the appeal. 2-1. Now, home plate is covered in the late afternoon shadows. The ball does not enter those shadows until almost being at home plate.
I mean, we literally are just a couple minutes away from it being an issue. Right now, you can still see the ball out of the hand of the pitcher. Now, it will strobe a little bit, but you'll at least see spin early on the pitch.
Of course, the hitter's eyes adjust to the brightness in the background, looking out at the pitcher and behind, and that makes it that much darker around home plate, which is the way our camera is reading it. From the sun into the dark.
And you can see it disappear in the shadows.
That one is hit high in the air to right field. Puig having a hard time judging it, and goodbye. It hit the top of the wall and bounced up into the crowd. And Puig, who was battling the fierce glare of the sun out there, was having a terrible time picking it up. So Brandon Belt with his 9th home run, and it is 6-2 Giants.
Well, if Puig could have seen this early, this might have been a play that he could have gone back and gone over the fence and taken away from Belt. Now, upon further review, I'm not sure. But it was anything from easy as he was looking back into the sun.
Brandon Crawford into center field, base hit. Well, the Dodgers have had the bullpen going for a long while in this inning. And after the walk to Posey, Honeycutt went out to talk to Frias. And then Brandon Belt lights him up for a 2-run homer. And now here comes Mattingly. 2nd home run of the game for the Giants. Each team has gone deep twice in this one. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. 2 runs in, runner at first, 1 out. Duffy coming up, and onto the bullpen.
Is brought to you by Momo's, a San Francisco tradition.
At Dodger Stadium, it is 6-2 Giants, and the Giants have had 2 homers, each with a man aboard, and 2 sacrifice flies. So they have been very efficient. They have not yet had an at-bat, an official at-bat, with a runner in scoring position.
Well, it's kind of nice to see the long ball. Yimi Garcia is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. 32nd time that he has come in. He has been a workhorse, and he's having a very solid first half. Look at the strikeouts. 40 strikeouts in 28 2/3, just 30 base runners in 28 2/3. How does he do it? You're going to see a fastball that's got sink and run to it. It's a mid-90s fastball. He's got a hard slider. It's pretty much what you're going to see. He's got a changeup, and he'll throw it every once in a while. Not a lot. Basically, fastball slider guy. League hitting a $198 against him. That's good stuff.
And it's interesting, when they got him up in the bullpen, it was with a 4-2 score. And that's a called strike to Matt Duffy, who's 0 for 2 in the game. I don't think their general plan of attack would be to have brought him in with the score already 6-2. He's a guy they like to use when the game is still very close, or even with the Dodgers leading. 0-1 to Duffy. 0-2.
So 2 pitches, fastball slider. He basically gives him his look. And for Duffy, who is a very good 2-strike adjustment hitter, he'll take that knowledge and get in the protect mode.
A bloop. It is in there. Crawford will stop at second. Jock Peterson handling it. Duffy, another 2-strike hit.
I mean, that's what he really does well. And, you know, we talk about his ability to do that, to make adjustments within an at-bat, within a game. I mean, he's a very smart hitter, and he shows it day in and day out by that ability to make those adjustments. I mean, he hits like he's been in this league 6-7 years.
Well, very exciting, I'm sure, for Duffy. He plays every day like he's just thrilled to be on a big league field. But to be down here where he grew up, he was born in Long Beach, and he went to Long Beach State University.
He went to Cubberley Grammar School. I went to Cubberley Grammar School. We're alumni.
So he's one of your guys.
He's one of my guys. I mean, I only went there for kindergarten, but
what happened?
I had to hand my crayons in and move on.
The Krucos of Cubberley. I'm sure they claim you now very proudly. Oh yeah, he was one of us. He was one of our guys. You can see those dark shadows have gone right up to the mound now. So the visibility for a hitter is not the best. The pitch coming in from the sunshine right into the shadows.
JT Snow, a Long Beach guy. Joey Malfitano, San Pedro, which is right next to Long Beach.
1 out, 2 men in, 2 men on, and 2 runs in. And it's 0-1 to Blanco, who has twice grounded out. Giants have 6 hits in the game. Good enough for 6 runs.
Randy Moffett.
Another Long Beach guy?
Long Beach guy.
0-1 the count. And that's low. For a long time, this was the area that produced the most Major League Baseball players in the game. A great place to play ball year round with the weather. Justin Turner also from down here playing at home. Blew it right by him, 94 miles an hour. 1-2 to Blanco. And how about Justin Turner? The Dodgers got him. It seemed like the Mets just didn't want him at all.
He's been like the MVP since he showed up here in Los Angeles. He really has played well for the Dodgers, especially when the Giants play the Dodgers.
So that's all for Blanco. And he looked late on those 2 fastballs. And again, a part of that has got to be the visibility right now with the dark shadows.
There's really not a whole lot you can do about it, and guys don't say a lot about it because it just becomes a negative thing, but they're all thinking it. It's just tough to see it when you see a guy who's got electricity to his fastball like Garcia. Tough assignment.
Tim Hudson takes a strike.
The thing you worry about is if he uncorks one and he throws up around somebody's head, can they see it to get out of the way? And because of that, it becomes a bit of an intimidating at bat.
That is out of play. Off to the right. Strike 2. Hudson has a single and a run scored. He started the rally. In the 5th inning with 2 down, he singled to center, and then Maxwell followed with a home run on an 0-2 pitch. The inning is over. Strike 3 call. But with 2 men stranded, the Giants already had 2 runs on the board before that. On Brandon Belt's home run. Bye-bye, baby. 6-2 Giants as we go to the last of the 6th.
is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Game 2 of the 3-game series, the Giants and the Dodgers here in L.A. And the Giants have a 6-2 lead. 2 in the first, 2 in the fifth, and 2 here in the sixth, including 2-run homers by Maxwell in the fifth and Belt here in the sixth. So Tim Hudson, who gave up 2 homers in the first, goes to work with a 4-run lead here in the 6th inning. Adrian Gonzalez, the cleanup hitter, comes up. The Giants have the big shift, playing him to pull with Joe Paddock 25 feet or so into right field. Gonzalez is 0 for 2 in the game. And it's a called strike. Well, Hudson, you go back into the 3rd inning, it was 2-2. The Dodgers got a leadoff double from Puig, and then Peterson walked, and they had Turner, Gonzalez, Kendrick coming up. And it looked like real trouble for Tim Hudson, and he got out of it. Starting with Turner hitting into a double play, and then Gonzalez grounded out. And he hadn't had that much trouble since.
Well, once he got the ball down and got knee-high command, he was a different pitcher. A nice pitch, knee-high.
A ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez, who's flied out to left center and grounded out to first.
His mistakes all of a sudden were thrown below the strike zone and not belt high. Home runs will do that to you.
Into the defense, Belt with Hudson covering, 1 away. Gonzalez, who had just a mammoth month of April, but he has really slowed down since then, and he was going to slow down, but it's just been a huge differential for him from going as the best RBI man in the league in the month of April, and there have been very few RBIs for him since. Now Kendrick. Ball 1. Kendrick is singled, grounded out to short. He was thrown out on an excellent play by Brandon Crawford after chopping one over the mound. 6-2 Giants, 6th inning. That's foul right past Davey Lopes, the first base coach. Davey Lopes ever steal a base with you pitching?
Oh yeah, no, I'm in his book too. Good player. That whole infield was very, very good. They played together 8+ years. Garvey, Lopes, Russell, Say.
It was the longest continuous infield by years in Major League history. And they were one of the best teams in the game year after year at that time. And he was one of the great base stealers in the game. And not just at that time, I think one of the great base stealers in the game's history. Two and two.
Good sink. And that's one of the biggest breaking sinker balls that Hudson is throwing today. And he threw that at 90 miles per hour. You know, the one guy I feared, though, more than anybody, if there was an at-bat they absolutely had to have, of all those 4 guys, and I respect all of them, they're all good players, but Bill Russell.
2-2 pitch. And a high and foul and out of play.
Bill Russell was one of those guys that really reminds me a lot of Matt Duffy. I mean, he made nice adjustments into the game. The bigger the at-bat, the better at-bat he gave you. He's tough situational hitter. I think Say and Garvey and Lopes, because he had some power, I don't think they made 2-strike adjustments like Russell did. And they were still trying to hurt you long, even as the count would wear on.
Wow. The breaking ball way outside. Strike 3 as Posey tags him out. 2 down.
There's a pitch he just doesn't see. I mean, and that's the problem with shadows and a contrast of sun and shadows. You don't see spin, especially on a slider. And he's thinking this is a fastball. And right here is realizing, yeah, bad idea. And this is what you see. When you don't see the spin, you're totally disadvantaged.
Andre Ethier is flied out to shallow center, struck out. Ball 1. Well, when you when you know the shadows are going to come on a bright, sunshiny, cloudless day like this, best to get a lead before those shadows arrive. The Giants are leading 6-2. 2-0. Tomorrow's game, remember, is a 5:05 start. And the Giants with Tim Lincecum up against the left-hander Brett Anderson. And we'll have radio only tomorrow on the KNBR Giants radio network. That's you and me on radio.
You and me, baby.
In there for a strike. 2-1. And then Tuesday, the Giants will be home at beautiful AT&T Park on the shores of San Francisco Bay. The Padres in to start a 3-game set. Madison Bumgarner would be likely set up for the first game of that series. That's the inning. Ethier retired. Top of the order coming up in the 7th. Dwayne Kuiper will return from the radio booth. It's 6-2 Giants.
Toyota dealer. Through 6 full innings of play, Giants 6 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Dodgers 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Tim Hudson, after giving up 2 back-to-back homers in the first inning, settled down, and he's been fantastic. 84 pitches through 6. Frias roughed up for 6 earned runs. The Giants added on a couple of 2 spots after their 2 in the first inning. And as we go to the top of the 7th inning, it is 6-2 Giants. And here again is Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, Mikey. And the genius of Bruce Bochy to get Maxwell into the game.
Well, you're right. He hit a 2-run homer in an 0-2 count his last at bat.
So here's Maxwell. And he takes a strike.
We did get some information back on Nori Aoki, who had to leave the game. He gets hit by a pitch his first at bat. And it's a bruise. So that's good news for the Giants.
Maxwell with a swing and a miss, 0-2. Might be the time where it's tough to see.
Yeah, we saw that in the bottom half of the 6th. Howie Kendrick swinging an 0-2 slider in the dirt. I don't think he saw the spin on that thing at all.
Tomorrow's game starts at what time?
5:05.
So this is what they'll be dealing with a little earlier in the game tomorrow. Tomorrow, hitters will wake up hoping to see clouds.
That's the only equalizer that they have. But that is not an easy background to take it at bat with.
Got him.
Again, the slider, the payoff pitch, and Maxwell just didn't see it.
It was the home run that Maxwell hit in the 5th.
This came in an 0-2 count, and look at the location. Mistake, middle in at the belt. And he was in a protect mode, and I think that's what's going to get him out of his little slump. Cutting swing out, because he doesn't need to get long to hit it out of the ballpark. And the proof of that was the 0-2 swing of the bat there.
Here's Joe Panik. Joe is 1 for 3. And he takes a strike.
You know, we're talking about how hard it is to see spin on a ball when you get a contrast because of the shadows like we have here now. Was it ever a fearful at bat for you to take when you had really contrasting shadows?
A lot of it depended on who was on the mound.
Well, for you, a left-handed hitter, say a hard-throwing lefty?
Yeah, I always felt like my back started to go. Needed to get out of there. I was just kidding, by the way.
Well, kind of kidding.
Out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We used to have really bad shadows on Sunday day games up at Montreal at Olympic Stadium. Floyd Yeoman's a pitcher with the Expos who threw really hard. He got Robbie Thompson one day in the first inning, and Robbie never saw it.
Panik drives one center field. Peterson on the move. Still on the move. He's not going to get it. It bounces up against the wall, and Panik's got a double. You see the carry that you get today. That was hit last night. I'm not saying it's a can of corn, but Peterson likely is going to catch it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it really is an example of the carry in this ballpark. Center field, it's always been a part of this yard where you pretty much have to earn it, but even the great range of Peterson, not enough to catch up to this thing. It's a backspin going the opposite way, and that swing of the bat right there gives you an idea that Panik's got strong hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure you got both cheeks into that one. So here's Pagan. Pagan is 0 for 2.
Been 12 hits in the game today. 8 have been extra base hits. 4 have gone out of the ballpark. Talking about that one field up in Montreal, that was the scariest at bat. Because balls would come out of the sun, go in the shade, and they were such stark, dark shadows you couldn't see the ball.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Pagan, and he swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, and in Montreal, Sunday day game, Saturday night game, you almost had to force yourself to go back to the hotel room. And that was always hard to do. It was a good town.
It was a good town.
Pagan skies one into center field. And Peterson's going to come in and make the catch. I'm not saying that that's what happened with Robbie Thompson.
No.
But Robbie was always the first guy back to the hotel room.
Your nose is growing.
Here's Buster Posey. Yeah, it's so long right now I can use it as an eraser on this card. Buster's 0 for 1, a sacrifice fly and a walk. And he fouls this one down the right field line and out of play.
I used to have a place up there called Farley's or Harley's. It was an Irish pub, and they'd have entertainment, live entertainment, Irish folk entertainment. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, that for us, for you and I, that was we'd go there for lunch. Posey on the ground to short, where Rollins has it, and Rollins is going to throw to first in time, and that'll end the inning. Bottom of the 7th coming up, 6-2 Giants. 2 lead for the Giants. And it's Yasmani Grandal to lead off. Grandal has bounced out twice.
See the line for Hudson. He has been fantastic.
Well, that's why it's hard to judge a sinker ball in the first inning. It is.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, ever since he found the bottom part of the strike zone and became consistent to the low part of the zone, I mean, things just completely evened out for him.
Plus, the biggest 2 outs he got, the 3rd inning, Puig's at second, Peterson's at first, nobody out, and he gets Turner into a double play. That changed everything.
That changed everything. And I think it was out of the stretch that he found his release that got him down in the zone.
Good pitch, 1-2.
You go back and look at the first inning. I mean, he gives up 2 home runs, both out of the windup, and both pitches were up. And he gets back in the stretch of a leadoff double, and then once he got in the stretch, he gets a walk that he didn't really want a part of. So Peterson sets up the force, gets the double play, and he's out of the inning.
Close, 2-2.
That was a good pitch. He just didn't get it. See Hudson get the ball, turn around, then say something to the center field wall. It was meant for the home plate umpire. Center field wall, good listener.
On the ground and right there behind second base is Crawford. And Grandal can't believe it. 1 out. There was a time when Yasmani Grandal would hit that ball, and that was a base hit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I guarantee when it whistled by Hudson's head, he was thinking it was a knock.
Grandal right now hates Ron Wotus. He does. He hates him.
Wotus, the bench coach, and he sets the defensive alignment for the infield. You're right.
Here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins lined out to left and then doubled in the 5th into left center field. Tried to backdoor him. 2 balls and no strikes.
Hunter Strickland up and throwing in the Giants bullpen. Pitch count kind of an issue now.
Hit on the ground and into right field, a base hit. So Alex Guerrero is going to hit. And Bruce Bochy's coming out, and he has seen all he wants out of Tim Hudson, and it's been very good. At least I think.
Yeah, he's going to come get him. Absolutely. Perfect time to get him. Outstanding performance by Hudson.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. We'll be back. be at home on Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Pregame live at 6:30. Then we'll have the game for you right around the top of the hour. Padres in town for 3 all-night games. And then the Giants will welcome in the Rockies before we break out the thongs in Miami. Oh, the Thursday game, by the way, is a day game. You didn't hear that, did you?
Yeah, I did.
What did I say?
It's a day game.
I said we're breaking out the thongs in Miami, and you did not hear that.
That is true. I did not. That means I have to go find my thong now.
So here's Strickland.
I was checking the numbers on Strickland.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
Yeah.
13th time he's come in. 2.84 ERA.
That's when you need your binoculars for the numbers on Strickland. Pitches inside to Guerrero, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Somebody had a thong in the front row. I was checking it out.
So Rollins at first with the base hit. I'm going to foul back. Guerrero does not get cheated. He got off to just an incredible start as a pinch hitter. His numbers are still terrific. He's 7 for 20 as a pinch hitter with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs.
Yeah, he kind of hit the ground running when the season started out. Had a red hot April. He and Adrian Gonzalez were quite a tandem.
He does not like to walk. He's only walked 5 times. He struck out 32 times. Swing and a miss. 1-2. He just swing through a high fastball.
Yeah, well, he changed the movement on the fastball. He changed the grip. That was a 2-seam fastball. I had nice sink to it.
One and two. Belt holding on Rollins. The pitch. Fouled at home plate. With Peterson doing such a great job in center, there really isn't room for Guerrero in the outfield or on the infield. So right now he's a bench player. One and two. Got him.
Good slider and a perfect place for it. Had count leverage and went out of the strike zone. Totally taking advantage of Guerrero's tendencies. An aggressive hitter. He wants to swing it. Throw that thing at the base. Let it drop out of the strike zone and hope he follows. So, job well done.
So here's Puig. Puig has bounced out twice to Duffy at third, but he did come up with a double in the gap in right center field in the third. First pitch, challenge. No balls and 1 strike. 98.
98 with a 4-seam. 4-seam grip will give you your highest velocity. Javier Lopez. Getting ready mentally.
Oh, and 2.
298ers right through him.
He might get another one.
Now those two definitely have him thinking. Be interesting to see what Posey calls here.
I mean, you might bounce one 8 feet in front of home plate, and you might swing at it.
2-hopper.
See you later. 3 straight 98-mile-an-hour fastballs, and that'll end the inning. 8th inning coming up. And it's a 3-game series starting on Tuesday. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a Thursday day game. And you can get your tickets now at sfgiants.com/tickets. Bumgarner and Despaigne will be on Tuesday. Despaigne, always tough against the Giants. It's 6-2 here in LA. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So Matt West, the new pitcher for the Dodgers, and this is what he did in AA and AAA. Climbed the ladder in 18 games, 1-2 with a 3.09 ERA, 35 strikeouts in 35 innings. He's got a good fastball. 3 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider. We haven't seen him throw it. It's a 3/4 release. Powerfully built guy, 6'1", 200 pounds. Kind of reminds you of the way that Chad Billingsley was built, broad-shouldered, built more like a catcher, but he's got some giddy-up on the fastball.
I don't think they have anybody out of Texas that throws soft.
I agree. Texas and the Dominican Republic. Flames.
Belt hit a home run, just a high, towering fly ball that just would not get out of the air in the 6th inning. And right now, Mr. Cuccione said, you know what, kid, you just got here, you're going to earn it. Belt cannot hold up. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, that's not the 2-0 swing you want to have, especially when you get a fastball you're looking for.
Swing and a miss. 2-2. Crawford on deck, and then Duffy. Giants with 7 hits in this game. The Dodgers with 6.
So 5 pitches, 5 fastballs. Haven't seen the curve. We watched him throw the curveball warming up, and it was not a happening thing. So I think if he's going to throw a specialty pitch off the fastball, it's going to be the changeup. He was at least throwing that for strikes. Looked to me like he was a little too pumped up to have that fastball doing much for him.
Looped, but Peterson gets there for the out.
Now let's take a look at the matchup between Hunter Strickland and Yasiel Puig, and just introduce himself. 98 right through him, then 98 right through him, and oh, by the way, 98 right through him. No respect, 3-pitch see ya, and all 3 fastballs topped out at 98.
Looks a little disinterested. So here's Crawford. Crawford is 1 for 2. And he takes a strike. Crawford at 278. Fouled at the plate, so a quick 0-2.
And there was that changeup.
Duffy on deck. It's 0-2 to Crawford, who takes low. 1-2. Crawford with a base hit into center field. A nice swing. It's his 2nd hit. And here's Duffy.
Second hit. Been on base 3 times today. Got hit by a pitch. Coming into the hotel when we got here Thursday night, I asked Duffy, "What's your pass list like this weekend?" He goes, "Rough." Had a lot of friends and family coming to the games.
It's a nice problem to have.
It is.
Duffy out of play. It's 0-1.
But it was great. The first time I ever came in with the Cubs to play the Dodgers, I had to leave 43 tickets. And everybody was all fired up. And then I saw up in the stadium where the Dodgers had put my pass list, and they were like second from the top row down the right field line. They were horrible seats. But in a way, they did me a favor because about 80% of the people never asked for tickets again. Yeah, pretty much up there. Obstructed view with the foul pole.
Duffy takes high. You know how my pass list got limited in Milwaukee?
How's that?
Was if my dad caught people I left tickets for cheering for the Brewers. That was it.
That was it. Scratched off the list.
The list got smaller and smaller every year. There's a strike to Duffy, 1 and 2. I mean, you can cheer for the Brewers, just don't openly do it.
Oh, I had 40 people up in the stands rooting for a no decision for me. Yeah. They wanted me out of the game, and then they wanted the Dodgers to win.
That's great. Then those 40 would not be going the next day.
X'd out.
Outside to Duffy, 2 and 2. Bruce Bochy has said now a number of times. I saw it, a note in the paper. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, that Duffy's getting closer to hitting third. High to right field. Puig will move over and under, and he's going to make the catch. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Blanco.
Number 7, Gregor Blanco.
So we hope Nori Aoki's okay, and if it is indeed a bruise, that's all right.
No, you're right. A bruise will go away. A couple of days stiff. Maybe an off day tomorrow into an off day Monday. Just thankful it's not a break.
Blanco takes wide. Two ground balls and a strikeout for Blanco today. And that evens the count.
Generous call.
Crawford goes. There's a swing and a fly ball into center field. And you can see Peterson still drifting back, and that'll end the inning. Giants strand 1, bottom of the 8th, coming up.
live. Highlights, reaction, and analysis, and it's all coming up right after the game.
So Strickland goes back out. It's a 6-2 lead for the Giants. And he'll face Jock Peterson, who's had a perfect day. He's homered and he's walked twice. Strickland seems to enjoy the hot weather with that fastball this afternoon.
Man, this is definitely baseball weather. 83 degrees at first pitch, and it was a lot hotter on the field, I'm sure, than 83. But since the shadows have taken over the field, or most of it, it has really become comfortable. And as you pointed out earlier, this is what they're going to see tomorrow night.
So here's Peterson. Strickland starts him out wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Turner, and then Gonzalez. And a strike at the knees. I'm sure Jack Peterson saw Strickland in AAA last year. This shouldn't be anything new for him. Overshift is on, and the 1-1 is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, you know, I'm sure they did see each other last year in the Pacific Coast League, but Strickland last year and Strickland this year are 2 different pitchers now, simply because he's throwing 5 different types of movement now as opposed to 2 last year. And those are 2-seam fastballs that he's throwing that he didn't have last year, with movement that runs away from the lefty. But this should be a challenge here with a 4-run lead, 3-1 count. This should be a here hit me.
So it's 3-1. Three and 2.
And there it was. In every at bat today, Peterson has had a 3-ball count. The home run in the first, and then of course the 2 walks later on. And here, that's just here. See what you can do with it.
Got him.
98 paint outside corner at the knees. I mean, when you have to come into a fastball count with a fastball, it's nice to have that kind of velocity and location on it. That's a quality pitch.
So here's Turner. Turner homered in the first. Since then he's hit into a double play, and he's bounced back to the pitcher. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. So a bit of a contrast between Hudson and Strickland. On the ground towards the hole. Crawford on the back end. Sets, throws, got him. 2 down.
He makes that play look like it's routine, and it's not. It is the play that defines a big league shortstop. When you have to go to your right, set up, and make a long throw with no crow hop, I mean, he just plant, go. I mean, he just makes it look like it's a routine play.
Brandon to Brandon, and here's Gonzalez. Well, it's because we see it all the time. I think it's great that you do point out that that's not a routine play. It is an excellent play. There's Gonzalez, drives one to left. Blanco there, and that's going to end the inning. Strickland is going 1 2/3. Here comes the 9th. 6-2 Giants. for the Giants. In the first inning, Norioki, to open up the ball game, got hit by Carlos Frias right on the right ankle bone. And although he eventually got up, got to first, Panik doubled on the right field line. Once he put on the brakes at third, he was really hurt and scored on a sacrifice fly, and then Bruce Bochy took him out of the game. So here's Casey McGee, pinch hitting, and West throws, and it's outside for a ball, 1-0. So McGee, and then Maxwell, and then Panik. Giants with a 6-2 lead here in the ninth. And McGee takes a strike. Final game of the series will be tomorrow night. That's a 5:08 start. McGee takes outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. You can listen to the game on KNBR with John and Mike are going to do the game. Tim Lincecum will be on the hill. So KNBR, the place to go tomorrow night. McGee fouls it out of play, 2-2.
Looking forward to that.
Anderson will be on the hill. He's a lefty with good stuff.
His ground ball ratio is unbelievable. There's a lot of balls that get hit on the ground. So a good night for low ball hitters. Look out.
Squirted out of the hand of West. Even the fact that it squirted out of the hand of West, I think McGee shook him up a little bit.
Well, this is the same way he threw him on the side. I mean, every one of them was in the same spot. Just too amped up. I mean, you could imagine West a little amped up because this is his first outing in a Dodger uniform at the big league level. And just doesn't have that pitch. First time Grandal's called it, and you won't see it called again.
Out of play.
But he does have the changeup working, which is the beautiful thing about a changeup is when you don't have breaking balls working, your curveball, slider are no shows, and it happens. At least you have something that gives you the ability to get a hitter off his back foot if you have a changeup. And we saw some pretty good changeups last inning from West.
Down the right field line. Puig, can he get there? No, it's foul. New Lumber.
Hit right off the end of the bat. That's something you could tell pretty much instantaneously.
So McGee walks back. He's step up. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, one thing they have done a better job with, broken bats now are not going up to the stands like they were at an alarming rate when they first introduced Maplewood. I mean, we did have an incident in Boston earlier this year. A fan was seriously injured with a bat going into the stands, but we used to see 4 or 5 of those a night all around baseball, but they've solved the problem. I don't know how they did it, but bats now are being milled differently.
And McGee's going to take the walk.
That's good at bat.
Yeah.
I know players that like the Maplewood bats, but they quit using them because the bats were breaking and pieces were flying into the stands. You didn't have that problem with white ash bats, the traditional wood type that Major League Baseball has used for years. That's Maplewood. mean, there's no doubt Maplewood's harder than White Ash. No doubt.
Shot up the middle. And it's going to end up being a double play, but it almost took a leg off of Matt West.
So does West catch a piece of it? No, yeah, it does. He hit him in the right leg, went between his legs. But there was Kendrick right there and perfectly placed with the pre-pitch positioning defensively to pick it up.
Number 12.
There'll be a bruise.
So here's Panic, who's got 2 doubles tonight. Romo getting loose.
He needs to pitch an inning.
Outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
They're going to do something here at Dodger Stadium I've never seen before. They're going to premiere a movie when the game is over.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to stick around. Here's a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. You're going to stick around to watch the movie. I'm going to stick around because of the popcorn.
Popcorn, movie. Perfect combination.
Panic taps it foul. It's 1-2.
53,000 here today at Dodger Stadium, so it'll be interesting to see how many stick around for the movie. You gonna share your popcorn?
Absolutely. Panic stays alive. Just a little bit of an emergency swing. If the Giants hang on and win this game, they'll have as many wins as the Dodgers. High to Panic. The Giants will have 2 more losses than the Dodgers.
Well, also, if the Giants win this ball game, Tim Hudson would have 219 career wins, and that would tie him on the all-time list with Pedro Martinez.
On the ground, Gonzalez. And that'll end the inning. So, the bottom of the 9th is coming up.
It's tonight right after Giants postgame live. Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area will show you Giants highlights of this one and lots of analysis, Giants clubhouse reaction, and football camp with Colin Kaepernick. All that and more tonight, Sportsnet Central. right here on Comcast Sports Net Bay Area.
6-2 Giants. And it's time for a change. Think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Sergio Romo coming in for the ninth inning. 31st time that he has appeared in a ball game this first half. Still looking for his first win, but he has been very, very good, especially against right-handers. Hitting just a $183 against him.
Facing Kendrick. And the pitch. And it's a strike. Kendrick 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. Ethier, Grandal, the follow. And a base hit into left field.
Dodgers just do not go quietly. It's not their nature.
So here's Ethier.
And with the leadoff single, very quietly, the Giants have some activity in their bullpen.
Ethier 0 for 3. And he takes low. Ethier off of Romo 1 for 7.
So the call down, they just say, just go down there and start playing catch. Santiago Casilla, Giants closer.
Ethier fouls this one out of play. On the ground, foul. Belt playing behind Kendrick. So Ethier pulled that one foul, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Close. 2-2.
Good idea. 1-2 pitch. Threw that little two-seam fastball, ran it away. Pretty good take from Ethier's perspective. That's a pitch that at times would get called a strike. Very trusting with the umpire to take that one.
So now, for the sake of trying to moderately stay relaxed here in the 9th, Romo needs to throw a strike. This is going to be foul as Ethier hooked it down the line.
So a 3-2 slider. And we have a winner. Hey, she stayed here all 9 innings. And there's her reward.
3-2. Popped him up. It's going to be Pagan in front of Maxwell. You can see two of them calling at the same time. As long as you don't bump gloves or bump into each other, you're usually going to be okay. But they weren't that far from doing that.
Oh, you can see it starting to come together. Center fielder is the captain. He has the right of way.
So here's Grandal.
But it does make your heart skip a beat if you're on the mound.
Yeah, you can see it. You can just see the whole thing develop. Strike to Grandal. Grandal has bounced out 3 times, twice to Crawford. The last time he smoked one up the middle, and Crawford just happened to be playing right up the middle.
Oh, that's a good pitch. Close.
Same spot. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Guccione's been consistent. I mean, he hasn't given the pitch.
Nope. 3-1.
So he tried to go front door with the sinker, just a little bit inside. Doesn't really have to nibble here with a 4-run lead. I mean, he really should be putting the pressure on the hitter. And you never really worry about Romo throwing strikes. I mean, his command normally is impeccable.
High and deep into right center field. Maxwell says, I got it, and he does. 2 outs.
Shortstop.
And here's Rollins.
Jimmy Rollins.
So Romo rubbing up the baseball. Rollins has got a couple of hits to get that average over 200. Runner goes, and a strike. Hendrick will go to second, and nobody cares.
Looked like Rollins was taken all the way first pitch. Romo wrapped around the backside with that little slider. These two no strangers to one another.
Backdoor breaking ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hit up the middle. Panic. And that's the ball game. Nice play, Joe Panic. In game 2 in this series, it goes to the Giants. Some good pitching, some good defense, and the long ball. And the Giants have taken the series.
And what really has stood out in this game was the adjustment that Tim Hudson made when he could not find the lower part of the strike zone out of the windup. He found it in the stretch, and he carried it through 6 1/3 solid innings. And congratulations, 219 wins now for Tim Hudson. It ties him with Pedro Martinez on the all-time list.
Final score, Giants 6, Dodgers 2. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.
The Giants 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Your Dodgers 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors.